Welcome. Let's embark on a journey through the rich tapestry of American history and culture. We'll travel through time, from ancient cultures to the modern age, witnessing incredible transformations. The United States has a story filled with triumphs and struggles, victories and defeats. It's a story about the land itself and the diverse people who shaped it over centuries. Get ready to explore the events and ideas that built a nation from the ground up. From the first inhabitants to waves of immigrants, this land has been a place of constant change and evolution. We will witness the rise and fall of empires, the fight for freedom, and the enduring pursuit of a more perfect union. Our journey begins long before the United States existed as a nation. It starts with the people who called this land home for centuries, long before modern history. Long before European ships arrived on the shores of what is now known as North America, this vast land was already teeming with life and culture. The continent was a mosaic of diverse indigenous nations, each with its own unique identity and way of life. North America was alive with diverse indigenous cultures, each deeply connected to the land they inhabited. From the dense forests of the east to the expansive plains of the Midwest, and the arid deserts of the Southwest to the lush coastal regions of the Pacific Northwest, these lands were home to hundreds of distinct nations. Hundreds of distinct nations thrived across the continent, each with its own language, government, and traditions. These nations were not just surviving, they were thriving, creating complex societies with rich cultural heritages. Each nation had its own language, government, and traditions. Their societies were as varied as the landscapes they inhabited. From intricate beadwork and pottery to sophisticated governance systems, these cultures were a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. In the East, tribes like the Cherokee and Iroquois formed complex societies. They built permanent villages, developed advanced agricultural techniques, and established trade networks that spanned vast distances. They were skilled farmers, hunters, and artisans. The Cherokee, for instance, cultivated crops such as corn, beans, and squash, while the Iroquois Confederacy was known for its sophisticated political system and longhouses. Across the Great Plains, nomadic tribes like the Sioux and Cheyenne followed vast herds of buffalo. These tribes were masters of the open plains, relying on the buffalo for their sustenance and way of life. These skilled horsemen relied on the buffalo for food, clothing, and shelter. The buffalo was central to their culture, providing not just physical sustenance but also playing a key role in their spiritual and social lives. In the Southwest, the Pueblo people built impressive cliff dwellings and irrigation systems. These architectural marvels were not just homes but also symbols of their ingenuity and ability to adapt to the harsh desert environment. Their pottery and weaving skills were renowned. The intricate designs and craftsmanship of Pueblo pottery and textiles are still celebrated today, reflecting a deep cultural heritage that has been passed down through generations. The Pacific Northwest was home to tribes like the Chinook and Haida. These coastal tribes were expert fishermen, relying on the abundant marine life for their sustenance. They were known for their fishing prowess and intricate totem poles. These totem poles were not just art, they were storytellers, chronicling the history and legends of the tribes. The history of these nations is deeply intertwined with the land itself. Every mountain, river, and forest holds stories of the people who lived there, their struggles, triumphs, and deep connection to the earth. It is a story of harmony, resilience, and a deep spiritual connection to nature. These indigenous nations lived in balance with their environment, understanding that their survival depended on respecting and preserving the natural world around them. Their legacy is a testament to the enduring strength and wisdom of their cultures, which continue to inspire and teach us today. News of a new world spread through Europe like wildfire. The promise of uncharted lands, untold riches, and new opportunities captured the imagination of many. From bustling city squares to quiet village corners, the excitement was palpable. People from all walks of life, from noblemen to commoners, were eager to hear tales of this mysterious land across the ocean. Explorers, driven by dreams of gold and glory, set sail across the Atlantic. These brave souls faced the vast, unpredictable ocean with a mix of hope and trepidation. Their ships, though sturdy, were at the mercy of the elements. Storms, strong currents, and the sheer expanse of the ocean tested their resolve. Yet the allure of discovering new territories and the potential for immense wealth kept them pressing forward. Christopher Columbus's voyages, though mistaken in their destination, opened the door to European exploration and colonization. His journeys, initially aimed at finding a new route to Asia, instead revealed the existence of the Americas. This monumental discovery set off a wave of expeditions, each seeking to claim a piece of this newfound world. Columbus's legacy, though complex, undeniably changed the course of history. Spanish conquistadors, seeking wealth and converts, established colonies in the south and southwest. Driven by the desire for gold and the spread of Christianity, they ventured deep into the continent. Their encounters with indigenous civilizations, such as the Aztecs and Incas, were marked by both cooperation and conflict. The Spanish influence reshaped the cultural and social landscape of the regions they colonized. The French, drawn by the fur trade, settled along the St. Lawrence River and the Great Lakes region. Unlike the Spanish, their primary interest was not in conquest but in commerce. The fur trade became a lucrative enterprise, with beaver pelts being highly sought after in Europe. The French established trading posts and small settlements, integrating themselves into the local economies. They established strong relationships with many Native American tribes, forming alliances for trade and mutual benefit. These alliances were crucial for the survival and success of the French settlements. The exchange of goods, knowledge, and culture enriched both parties. The French learned vital survival skills and local knowledge from the Native Americans, while the tribes gained access to European goods and technologies. The English established their first permanent settlement in Jamestown, Virginia, in 1607. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in the colonization of North America. The settlers faced numerous hardships, from disease to food shortages. However, their determination and the eventual discovery of tobacco as a cash crop ensured the colony's survival and growth. They were soon followed by the Pilgrims, who sought religious freedom in Plymouth, Massachusetts. These early settlers, driven by a desire to practice their faith without persecution, embarked on a perilous journey across the Atlantic. Their arrival in the New World was fraught with challenges, but their strong sense of community and faith helped them persevere. These early colonies faced immense challenges, from harsh weather to conflicts with Native Americans. The winters were particularly brutal, with many settlers succumbing to the cold and lack of food. Relations with Native American tribes were complex, ranging from cooperation and trade to violent confrontations. The settlers had to navigate these difficulties while trying to establish a foothold in the new land. Yet, they persevered, laying the foundation for a new nation. Their resilience and determination set the stage for the growth and expansion of future colonies. Over time, these early settlements grew into thriving communities, each contributing to the rich tapestry of what would eventually become the United States. The legacy of these pioneers is a testament to the enduring human spirit and the relentless pursuit of a better future. Over the next century, 13 distinct English colonies took root along the Atlantic coast. These colonies, each with its own unique geography, climate, and resources, began to develop in ways that reflected their individual circumstances and the aspirations of their settlers. From the rocky shores of New England to the fertile plains of the South, the colonies formed a diverse tapestry of communities, each contributing to the burgeoning identity of what would become the United States. Each developed its own unique character and economy. The bustling streets of colonial towns were filled with merchants, artisans, and traders, each playing a vital role in the local economy. Marketplaces were vibrant centers of commerce where goods from near and far were exchanged, reflecting the colony's growing connections with the wider world. The New England colonies, founded on principles of religious freedom, became centers of shipbuilding, fishing, and trade. The harsh climate and rocky soil made large-scale farming difficult, so the colonists turned to the sea. Shipyards along the coast built vessels that carried goods across the Atlantic, while fishermen braved the ocean to bring in bountiful catches. These industries not only sustained the local economy, but also connected New England to global trade networks. The middle colonies, with their fertile soil and diverse populations, thrived as agricultural hubs, exporting crops like wheat and barley. The rich farmland supported a variety of crops, and the region's rivers provided easy transportation for goods. The middle colonies were known for their cultural diversity, with settlers from various European countries bringing different farming techniques and traditions, creating a rich mosaic of agricultural practices. The southern colonies, with their warm climate and vast plantations, relied heavily on enslaved African labor for the production of cash crops like tobacco, rice, and indigo. The plantation system created a stark contrast between the wealthy landowners and the enslaved people who worked the fields. These plantations were the economic backbone of the South, producing goods that were in high demand in Europe and driving the region's prosperity. Life in colonial America was a mix of opportunity and hardship. Settlers faced the challenges of building new communities in a foreign land, dealing with harsh weather, disease, and conflicts with indigenous peoples. Yet, for many, the promise of land, religious freedom, and a fresh start outweighed the difficulties. Colonial homes and settlements reflected the diverse backgrounds of their inhabitants, from simple log cabins to grander homes in prosperous towns. Indentured servants and enslaved Africans faced brutal conditions, their labor fueling the growth of the colonies. Indentured servants, often from Europe, worked for a set number of years in exchange for passage to America, while enslaved Africans were forced into a lifetime of servitude. Their contributions were immense, yet their lives were marked by hardship and oppression. The labor of these individuals was crucial in building the infrastructure and economy of the colonies. Despite the challenges, a spirit of self-governance began to emerge. Colonists, accustomed to English traditions of local governance, started to form their own assemblies and councils. These gatherings became forums for discussing local issues, making decisions, and asserting their rights. The experience of self-governance in the colonies laid the groundwork for the democratic principles that would later shape the United States. Colonists formed assemblies and councils, demanding a voice in their own affairs. These bodies, such as the Virginia House of Burgesses and the Massachusetts General Court, were early examples of representative government. They debated laws, levied taxes, and made decisions that affected the daily lives of the colonists. This growing political consciousness was a crucial step towards independence. The seeds of independence were sown. As the colonies grew more prosperous and self-reliant, tensions with the British Crown increased. Issues such as taxation without representation and restrictions on trade fueled discontent. The ideas of liberty and self-determination began to take root, leading to the early stirrings of the independence movement. These seeds would eventually grow into a full-fledged revolution, changing the course of history.